Hey folks, it's Wade the Shoe Dog. I know. I haven't been made too many videos recently. I've been really busy. I've had some really fantastic and interesting client work, and but also I kind of got sidetracked. Some really good friends of mine that are operating the company called Loma Footwear in here in San Diego invited me to come down to Leon in Mexico. And why would we want to go to Leon in Mexico? Well, Leon actually is the major shoemaking area in Mexico, serving the domestic market, but they also make some shoes for export. And from where we live in San Diego, it's really quite easy to fly from the Tijuana Airport to literally walk across the border, and then you can be in Leon in the afternoon, and it's a couple $100. So otherwise, to get to Leon from the United States, there are direct flights from Houston and I don't know, maybe someplace in Florida. But basically, Leon in Mexico is the center of the footwear industry in Mexico, and well, it's a pretty industrial city. There's a lot of factories inside the city, but also kind of scattered around. So um, that was a great excuse to go. And the reason we went this month was it's called the MPAC show, and it happens twice a year, and it's when all the suppliers for equipment and materials, leather, outsoles, everything, all come together at Convention Hall in Leon, and it's pretty interesting. And actually, I'm going to show you some pictures. So here next is I'm going to do a little travel log, and the reason I was going to Mexico is because even though I've been making shoes in China for 25 years. So some people aren't as comfortable with China as I am, and there are some products that you can get in Mexico. I don't know if it's going to be any cheaper. Yes, there's duty rate issues, and some of the shoes that would have a really nice low duty rate from Mexico, they don't really make in Mexico, right? So, but there are some things. I mean, if you're interested in Western boots, absolutely. Or, natural leather casual shoes. Absolutely. Mexico's a fine place to do that. And Leon is where you're going to do it. So basically, my goal was to go down here with some friends, take the opportunity to investigate for their business, but also for me to help you understand what you can and can't make in Mexico. So, well, let's get on with it. So, again, this is not scripted. As are any of my presentations scripted? No, but there's some cool things I want to show you. Okay, so what is this? I know this is actually a pretty high tech piece of equipment, which you would see this in a factory in China all day long. This is an embroidery machine. I think this is what 17 or 18 stations. But hey, this is what how Western boots get made Western, right? So this is what a multi-station embroidery machine looks like. And when you look at these, we'll try to zoom in a little bit here. When you look at all these little tensioners here, this tells you how many colors are inside the embroidery machine. So this one looks like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Did I count that right? Yeah, 9 colors. So you could do 9 color embroidery. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's watch this embroidery machine in action here. Let's watch that. And the cool thing is, it's doing all of them at once. It's not just doing one. So it's doing the whole grip of them. You can see, and they have two in this room. Again, this is the Western factory, so you have to have embroidery. Okay, so that's embroidery in action here. So here's another picture of what that embroidery machine looks like, and yeah, here. Let's zoom in on that and get a look at the kind of embroidery. So you see, they've got, why do you have 9 colors? Well, look at this color fade, right? All those are each one is a different color thread. So that's why. Okay, so here's a cutting die, which is very this like the same you'd see in any factory. Now this is a if you've watched our channel, you've seen this kind of machine before. This is a marking machine, and what it does is it comes in and it puts the stitching guide on the component. So I was a little bit surprised actually to see a nice high-tech machine like this in Mexico. But hey, you don't see until you see. So again, this is if it wasn't for the Spanish speaking, this looks pretty similar to what you would see in a Chinese factory. Okay, now here is a lasting machine, and we're gonna zoom in on this. And you just see some other lasting machines where get this kind of round. This one actually has a point on it. All the knives are arranged to last in point. Let's see. And actually, the assembly on the back, right, itself, stands. Takes a little bit longer. There you go. All right, so these boots are lasted, or some of them are waiting for. And you see, there's some more exotic material, right, for these things. The next thing, this is a square-toed last, right? So one of the things that when you look at this, you say, oh yeah, right. The lasting machine is you have to really change the configuration of the lasting machine, but actually no, it's a completely different machine. I mean, it's the same type of machine, but the configuration for the knives and the grippers and the scraper are all designed around a square toe. So this factory actually has two machines standing side by side, one for traditional point and one for flat nose boots. Okay. So here's a couple of craftsmen. The boots are actually done, and they are just getting the vamps perfect. And actually the bottoms are not on them yet. I see. The lasts are inside, so they're actually hammering, adjusting, stretching, right? Here's a heel laster. Let's zoom in on this, and let me see if I can get myself out of the way here a little bit, so you can see this better. Let me grab that. Oh yeah, let me just grab that out of there. I'll just slide myself. There we go. That's better. Okay, let's take a look here. So what's different about this one is it's real, right? It's not sporting, Okay, so here's the lasting station. There's 5 or 6 guys, and these guys actually, this is the heart of it. This is the really skilled position, because even though you've seen they've done the machine lasting, you still have to finish by hand. So here's let's zoom in on this so you can see some of that hand. These guys last the most. So when you do it again, notice there's a couple of nails. Okay, so you get plastic toe cap inside, which is a modern invention. Same process. You drive some nails now. Okay, what you saw on the other one is he drives nails on the side, and he grabs a wire and he wraps that wire around to actually pull it. Right, so it's a pretty interesting process. So here's the factory. The name of this factory is called Global Brands Manufacturing, GB Manufacturing. It's right in Lyon. It's literally like 5 minutes away from the convention center. I could have spent the whole day here looking around. And they have some really spectacular boots, and they have a in-house designer that can help you with your Western boot project. So if you want Western boots, give me a call. We could introduce you to this factory. Really beautiful, beautiful footwear. Yeah, it was fun. Oh, that's the dog. Okay, so that's what Leo looks like. Okay, that's breakfast. Hey, okay, here we are in Lyon, and this is across the hall at the convention center. And okay, so this is the kind of stuff you're going to see there, all different types. So a lot of what they're showing at this exposition is equipment. If you want to create this type of shoe, this equipment is available you can get it in Lyon now. I mean, these molds are definitely made in China. They're not made in Mexico. But if you wanted to buy a set and inject it in Mexico, you could. All right. Okay, so this actually is a very common machine, and if you've watched the channel, you've seen this before. This is a computer stitching machine, and that tray actually is that green stuff is fiberglass. It's a thin layer that folds up. You put your upper pieces below on pins, and then the machine comes and does all the stitching, right? So it's a pretty fantastic, pretty really a modern automated machine. You see these in China. Of course, New Balance has a grip of these when they for their USA made shoes. This is how it's done. Soccer shoes really quite commonly use this type of shoe. There's lots of stitching on the man. Okay. Okay, so here's a overmold for a polyurethane or PVC boot. So this is if you're going to make an entire low boot. So you've got the side panels, the outsole on the top, and then the last is in the middle of it all. So that's the kind of shoe that it can make. Okay. Okay, cookies. Okay, so this is the last manufacturer. Really wonderful people. I really had a great time meeting with these people to help get started on our projects. This is El Arbor, is the name of the company, and they're one of the top last manufacturers in Lyon. Okay, so this is a great shoe factory that we visited, and they're making some golf, some casual shoes, but a lot of industrial shoes. And so here we are. We're looking at this is a unique thing to see they have high production of a particular model, so they've gone ahead and color coded the cutting dies, which is pretty interesting. So we're checking out the cutting dies, and actually, now this right here is something that I had not seen in Mexico. I guess I hadn't seen anywhere because I hadn't been. I mean, I've seen this kind of cutting die. It's not a cutting die, but it's cutting template just made with plastic. But here in Mexico, if you have a limited production run, say a few hundred pairs, instead of opening a fancy set of cutting dies, they will cut you some galvanized ones, and it's a lot more handwork to mark and cut, but it's a way to get your process done. So, and they have some very modern cutting machinery. So this stuff you'd all it's very common. This is exactly what you see at a big factory in China. There's a cutting room, pretty straightforward here. Let's see. Yeah, really nice crew of people. We'll put the description for the link for the factory in the downstairs. So this is a heel forming machine. Again, very common machine. You'd see this in any modern shoe factory. This heats the plastic heel counter and molds it. And here's a Strobel machine. Again, if you watch the channel at all, you've seen athletic shoes with these guys are he's in the zone. Now you see they've got a right together. That's the lining. The outside of the boot has a leather lasting has a fabric lasting apron attached to the leather too. Now this guy, um, he is really going quickly. You'll see how fast he is. This is a Strobel, right? And you'll see how fast he got the force lashes, whacked it with a hammer. Now, actually, you see how that little shoehorn thing moves. So you see that he uses it to help get the boot on the last, and then that was in case it just fell out. But you can see how um, if the thing is stuck up in there, the hydraulic mechanism actually pulls it down. So it pulls it out of the shoe, which is pretty slick. So when I saw that, I was a little concerned about how fast he was going with this operation. Uh, but when I stopped and looked at the shoes on the assembly line, they were pretty straight. So you're a typical. Actually, I took this shot because of how vintage the machine is, because the rest of the machinery in this factory is quite modern and new. But the particular operation, you see, this is a triple thread sewing machine. So I was pretty impressed by the guy operating it too. It has gray hair, just like, well, if I let it grow out, you'd see how much gray hair I had. But this guy was just crushing it with this machine. Really beautiful, straight looking stitching. So this pretty typical stitching, upstairs, assembly downstairs. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic lunch. Actually, it's a good friend of mine. His name is Homie Diaz. He's a former designer for DC. He's a real champion designer, and we had some fantastic meals here. And this was a little speakeasy in the restaurant. Okay, so here we're in the leather tannery, and what are these little beads for? It's kind of an interesting process, but if you add beads into the leather drum, right, which is what this is, it reduces the amount of water you need, which is pretty important if you're tanning leather. So this is a tour of the Lafarque Tannery, and these all these little drums. These are the baby drums. This is the sample room, and out here we're on the shop floor. So this is one massive cowhide. Usually you see a cowhide that's in half, split down the back, but this is the full like 40 square feet hide. This is not for footwear. This would be for automotive interior or furniture, is when you have a whole hide like that. But that metal rack, basically, they use that to stretch the hide so you can get the maximum yield. Nice tension. It evens the grain. And so there's about 30 of these all piled up in a dryer getting stretched. And here we're looking at some beautiful leather hides here. Now this is a pigmenting machine. I mean, basically, they're spraying like pigment just to the grains all look quite similar to each other because naturally a hide, they're all different color, really. Even if it's the same animal I mean, they're all different animals, right? Even though they go through the same tanning process and dyeing process, they're going to be slightly different shade due just to the density of animals are individual. So this process, if you have pure black leather, it's just solid black paint. Now in this case, it's a little bit of pigment just to even up the hide, but beautiful, spectacular leather in this tannery. Really wonderful. This is high quality stuff. They have chrome tan, veg tan, and yeah, here's the crew checking it out, and they have their symbol is rhinos. So they have hundreds of little. All that shelf behind me is all rhinos. Who knows why? Funny. I don't know why. Rhinos. Whatever. That's their thing. But we had a beautiful barbecue at their place. Yep. Sorry, I'm messing around. Okay, back on the convention floor. I just took this picture to show you that they are using modern 3D printing technology. So if you want to look at sample outsole or whatever, that is available. There is some knit, not much knit. Really, if you're down in Mexico, for buying shoes for export to the United States, you're looking at leather. There is some textile business there. There are some open molds for rubber. Now, the reason I wanted to remind me to mention this. The one thing about Mexico that's different from China is the availability of tooling. In China, sometimes you feel like they're awash with mold shops and great technology for making molds, and it's easy and it's inexpensive and it's fast, which is all true. Mexico is exactly the opposite. It's relatively expensive. It takes a long time, and their technique for developing this kind of equipment is not it's not great. In fact, if you want to make a modern athletic shoe in Mexico, odds are the equipment is gonna come from China anyway. So it is what it is. Okay, so there's some options for different tools that are available. Oh, now this is a we're back on the equipment side of the show, and this is a heel lasting machine, and we'll just watch this thing. There's no shoe on it, but what it's doing. Basically, that's the heel and the base of the shoe. It's a soccer shoe. Could use this kind of machine. It's really cool. How you can make a shoe. This is a conventional lasting machine. I just wanted to show you how high tech all this stuff is. And so those are the knives that grab the upper and pull it tight, and that little pressure foot pushes up, and the blades smear and inject the glue. And actually, I don't know if it shows it down here or not. At the bottom, you can't see it. At the bottom, there's a spool of hot melt glue. Okay, crepe rubber is available. in Mexico. So I was pretty good. I was happy to see that. This is what crepe rubber shoes look like. There are some, again, injection EVA suppliers down here, but again, these molds are made in the Far East and brought into Mexico. And that's oh yeah, this painted foam, which I thought was kind of weird. Okay. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, this is more traditional. No, okay. So here's the part of it. Here is if you're having an adventure, you might as well go just check it out. So luckily the my I have a twin brother who works down in Mexico, and I was able to go visit him. He's at a totally different business, but we chop it is another couple hours south. But hey, the point of it is, if you're gonna go visit a foreign country, whether you're gonna look at factories or whatever, take some time to visit some other places. So here's another factory that I managed to catch on the way out. They're making beautiful high end wrapped leather sandals. They have all the same modern shoemaking equipment, but this is a really unique, really small one line factory, but beautiful modern equipment. And again, you when I first saw this, oh, this is all man-made leather. No, these are beautiful, or man-made, PU. And no, these are real leather. So really beautiful looking shoes here that they're making. Incredible workmanship, but small. Like this is a one-line factory. So, but for personalized service, for unique styles, it was a cool place. It's called Summer Mex, and this is this kind of modern laser marking hide marking machine. Yeah, I see in a giant factory that makes 10 million pairs of shoes. So I was excited to see it, and here they have the matching cutter to go with it. So small factory, but with really modern equipment. Of course, regular conventional cutting stuff too. But so you know, this thing's kind of wild too. Fun stuff, right? So hey, that's excuse me, that's a little bit about shoemaking in Mexico. Um, let's let's go back here. Um, and well, yeah, even this kind of classic style, right? Really nice. Oh, anyway, so the point of it is the shoemaking technology in Mexico is different. What you're gonna get there is different. Again, Leon is it's a lot easier to get to than say mainland China for sure. Just so for reference, from from Tijuana to Leon was 2 hours and 20-minute flight, so you can get there. Um, if you're so, and what's the long and short of it is, hey, if you're interested in learning more about making shoes in Mexico, go ahead and you can schedule a chat with me. We can talk about it. I've pretty much just told you what I know about it. I definitely will be going back. This same show happens in October, and I guess the October show is the big one. But we're definitely going to go down there, and we're helping some folks get some shoes made, and it's a lot of personal business where you meet somebody, and like I said, when you go to Leon, 95% of the factories are local market for sales and distribution inside of China, or sorry, inside of Mexico. About 5% are exporting, mostly to U.S., Mexico, or sorry, U.S. and Canada, some to Europe. But when you're down in Mexico looking for shoes, you're not really looking for man-made or sport shoes. You are looking for real leather shoes. Um, Not to say that you can't make those types of shoes in Mexico, but the technology that we're used to seeing for sort of modern athletic that's made in the Far East, it's starting to appear in Mexico, but it's not the high end. So just be aware of that. Again, yes, fantastic alternative. I mean, they're making millions of pairs of shoes in Mexico. It's just what's the right kind of shoe. Anyways, hey folks, I appreciate that, and stay tuned. Well, there'll be some more videos coming. Bye bye. Oh, hey, and please visit the website shoemakersacademy.com. And if you're interested in starting your own business and importing shoes in Mexico, check out our book, How to Start Your Own Shoe Company. And that is a fantastic resource for for helping you stay out of trouble. Okay, bye.